Hi everyone, so I know it's been a while since I've done a movie review, so basically I have a list here of all the movies I've seen recently. I'm just kind of going to brush through them all. If there's any films I mentioned that you would like me to spend on later and do our own video on, just comment below and I'm happy to oblige. So first I'm going to talk about The Greatest Showman. Now, I was so excited to see this movie because I actually really love Hugh Jackman, especially when he sings. So Hugh Jackman and Zac Efron together, yes. So I went to the film not really knowing much about the actual story itself. I didn't realize it was like based on an actual person. So going through the movie, I actually really enjoyed the storyline. There kind of was a little subplot which I didn't really feel like added that much to it, but if that actually did happen, like, I understand why they threw it in. The film, if you're in like musicals, honestly, you're probably not going to like it. I'm not a huge musical fan myself, but I absolutely loved the music in this film. I loved the performances, and it's kind of one of those films that just made me insanely happy. The music is really happy. I actually went and bought the soundtrack because I just wanted to listen to it in the car on the way to work. It just filled me with a lot of happiness before I started working. So if you're into musicals, if you're a fan of Hugh Jackman, Zac Efron, Zendaya, I recommend this film. A lot of the performances are great, but sadly I don't know many of them by name. The second film is Jumanji 2, Welcome to the Jungle. Now originally I didn't want to see this film. The trailer pissed me off. I love the original and it kind of annoyed me. They went from a board game to a video game. I'm like, for God's sake, like, if it's a sequel, why do you have to change it? But then seeing the film, I actually understood why they changed it, and that, like, basically Jumanji is adapting itself to make, like, to basically force other people to continue playing it. So I understood the reasoning for it and it was enjoyable. I feel like the storyline, like, it's original in its own way, but at the same time it also has been done before. The performances, The Rock and Kevin Hart, basically they've done heaps of films together now, so it's kind of the exact same stuff between them. Jack Black was my absolute favourite in this. He's basically a girl playing a guy. Like, it's crazy, but it's funny. Yeah, so he was my standout. If you love Jack Black, if you love The Rock, if you love Kevin Hart, like, I do recommend going to see this film. It is really funny. The action sequences are really enjoyable. The special effects are really enjoyable. I just feel like the storyline isn't as great as the first one, but we're saying that it's not a film to hate, especially because I thought I was absolutely going to hate it from the trailer. The trailer pissed me off just watching it, but I've actually seen Jumanji 2 twice. So it is a film worth seeing. Yeah, so The Disaster Artist. Now, I only saw The Room a couple of years ago, and it's a ridiculous film, but it's just one of those films that are so horrible, it's enjoyable. So when The Disaster Artist was announced, I was pretty excited to go see it, especially because I'm a fan of James Franco and Seth Rogen, and I like the kind of films they do together, so I was really excited to see this. The trailer was funny, and James Franco does an amazing job as Tommy Wiseau. I know it's not exactly rocket science to perform as another person, but when they do the scene-by-scene comparisons at the end, like, it's fantastic. He is so on point. I really enjoyed this film. It was absolutely hilarious. I feel like if you're a fan of them, or if you're a fan of The Room, it's worth seeing just to see, like, kind of the making of The Room and kind of the craziness that Tommy and Greg went through together. So yes, I recommend going to see that. Days Home 2 was absolutely hilarious. If you're a fan of the first one, you're obviously going to like the second one. If it's been a while since you've seen the first one, you might kind of forget, like, the importance of some characters, but I didn't really find that an issue, just other people have mentioned it. I enjoyed the film. Basically, if you like the first one, you'll like the second one. It's nothing out of the ordinary. With the additions of Mel Gibson and John Lithgow, I actually really enjoyed those characters. I know a lot of people seem to have hated it, but it's basically what I expected from the film. It's nothing unique or, like, it's not going to win an Oscar, obviously, but, like, it's still an enjoyable film. So the next one was Jungle. Now, this actually came out, like, a while ago. but not many people know of it. It's got Daniel Radcliffe in it. It's based on a true story. He kind of gets lost in the jungle, so it's about his survival. It's an absolutely fantastic movie. If you're a fan of Daniel Radcliffe, just watch it for him because his performance is amazing. It's based on a true story, which I didn't know too much of the story before going into it, so it was all like a mystery to me of how he could survive. And it's just an enjoyable film, and I highly recommend watching it if you haven't seen it. Next film is Star Wars The Last Jedi. Now, I was originally going to do this whole video to itself because it's Star Wars, but it's been a while now. And quite frankly, it doesn't really seem worthwhile putting that much effort into Star Wars. I enjoyed the film. If you look at, apart from Star Wars, there is a lot of scenes that happen in The Last Jedi which doesn't make sense for a Star Wars film. The casino scene was really out of place. But otherwise, the film was enjoyable. I enjoyed it. There's a lot of scenes I enjoyed that I wish weren't over so quick, and there's certain storyline plots I wish they dragged out to the next film. Mainly concerning Kylo and Rey, I feel like they just conclude that way too quick. I'm also really disappointed in how they ended some character plot lines and how they continued with other ones when they should have ended them. So I have a lot of issues with The Last Jedi, but pretty much everyone else has covered them in their videos. It's kind of just a little too late. It has been 2 months since it came out, so moving on. Pitch Perfect 3. I absolutely love the first movie. The second movie I hated, so the third movie I'm just like, I might as well see it because I've seen the other two. I love Anna Kendrick. I love the girls. Rebel Wilson is kind of just, like, everyone loves her and her character. I really did like her from the start, but nothing's changed from her. She's still like the overbearing type person in these films, where the other girls are actually kind of growing and showing character development. So it's kind of a little annoying at times. But basically, if you like the other two films, you're going to like it. It's nothing out of the ordinary. They've added kind of a bit of action-y sequence storyline to this. It was a bit odd, but they still have a lot of the music performances in it, which the other two are known for. So if you like the music from the other two, you're going to like this one. Again, it's a bit different, but it works. So the next film is The Post. The Post is actually a really great film. I absolutely loved it. It's interesting. I don't really know too much of the true story of it. I'm not surprised that all of this is nominated for an Oscar. The performances are fantastic. The storyline is fantastic. If you haven't seen it, if you're into the Oscar type movies, I highly recommend seeing this. The Post is a lot like Spotlight, so if you like Spotlight, I recommend seeing The Post. The Commuter. It's Liam Neeson's new film. He's basically on a train and he has to find a person who doesn't belong. Now, it's a very basic storyline. It's a very basic action film. The sequences are fantastic. Liam Neeson is great in this role, but it's basically any of his other movies. If you enjoy Liam Neeson's movies, if you enjoy the action movies, you will like this film. We're saying that it's a lot like Non-Stop, which also starred Liam Neeson. With Non-Stop, he's basically on a plane. With this one, he's on a train. As if you liked Non-Stop, you're going to like this. If you hated Non-Stop, skip it. I really did like it. I know it's basically saying it's a very average action film. I did like it, but don't expect anything that the trailer hasn't already shown you. One of my absolutely favourite movies from this year is 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. I probably just said that wrong, but it's an absolutely fantastic movie. The performances are amazing. The character development to a lot of the characters are incredible. Like Sam Rockwell's character, you either love him or hate him, and you really shouldn't love him because he is an asshole. But like the way he shows towards the end of the film, like, he is a massive improvement. I really loved the film. I know a lot of people are hating on the ending, but basically from the trailer, that's the ending I expected. I really did love the film. If you love the Oscar movies, again, I highly recommend going to see this film. I'm so glad it is winning so many awards. I can't wait for it to win some more. So definitely go see this film. So a few other movies that have been nominated for a variety of Oscars. There's Molly's Game. I love Jessica Chastain. She is fantastic in this film. The storyline is really good. Her performance is incredible. I can't remember exactly what it's nominated for. I think it's adapted storyline, screenplay, sorry. It is fantastic. I'm not sure if it's going to win because it's up against a lot of tough contenders, but it is worth going to see, especially if you're a fan of Jessica. She's brilliant in this movie, as she's brilliant in pretty much everything else. So definitely go see it. The Shape of Water is a pretty interesting film. I really did enjoy the storyline. There was a few things that happened. I'm like, oh, this is really weird. I don't know how I feel about watching this. But reading some theories after I've seen it, I actually kind of have a little bit more appreciation for it because I've actually given a lot of thought into the theories. So I kind of want to talk about more about it, but I also don't want to talk about spoilers, so I might actually do a separate video for this one. But definitely go check it out. It's kind of that film that you have to make your own mind up. You can't go, oh, this person liked it, so I'll like it. It's just not that type of film. I really did like it. I don't think it's a complete masterpiece that everyone's making out to be, but it's definitely better than a lot of people are like kind of ripping it off about. And the last film I'm going to talk about is I, Tonya. So this is starring Margot Robbie. It's based on a true story. A lot of people know the story because there's a lot of memes about it. And basically, Margot Robbie is fantastic in this film, but they kind of try and make her out to be this really good person who's just misjudged, but at the same time she's kind of horrible. So it's kind of like, should I like this character, should I not like this character, based on like what really happened or what we didn't know, because a lot of people actually don't know the full story. I feel like even in this film they're not showing the true story, but it's enjoyable. The performances are enjoyable. I feel like it went a little long, but really that's pretty much the only issue with when you're doing a film based on true stories. Like, what do you cut out, what do you leave in? So I feel like there's not really much slack to do that. I feel like Margot Robbie could easily win an award for this. She is really great in it. The one who plays her mother, Alison Jamie, I love her as an actress, but I always forget her name. She's fantastic, and I reckon she would easily pick up an Oscar as well. So that's just a few of the films. So that's pretty much everything I've seen. So there was The Greatest Showman, Jumanji 2, Welcome to the Jungle, The Disaster Artist, Days, Home 2, Jungle, Star Wars, The Last Jedi, Pitch Perfect 3, The Post, The Commuter, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Molly's Game, The Shape of Water, and I, Tonya. So sorry if I spoke a little too quick. I was trying to keep the video short. If there's any of the movies that you want me to do a separate video on, I'm happy to oblige. Just let me know. I'm pretty sure I didn't leave any out, but knowing my luck, I did. So hopefully I can catch up on them later. And thank you all for watching, and I will hopefully stay up to date. Bye!